everybody, and welcome to Binging with Badness, the only podcast that's here to remind you that if you fall down 9 times, what the fuck is wrong with you? Who falls down 9 times?
See a doctor.
My name is Mitchell McIntyre.
And I'm Vanessa Vogel.
And welcome back. Welcome here to the very first annual Hallmark Hell Week. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could something so devastating come from such a happy-go-lucky channel such as Hallmark? Well, for those of you who don't know, this is Thanksgiving week here in the US of A. And Hallmark has decided to end my life because they are debuting a new movie every single day. That is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and guess what? Saturday. Not only that, but Hallmark Movies and Mysteries have their regular movies, which means in this week, from Sunday to Sunday, we will have 11 movies in 7 days.
Yeah!
Which means that we will have at least 11 episodes of Binging with Badness, be they podcasts or be they live streams. I don't know. But you'll be the first to know. So I knew this was coming. I didn't think it was coming up so quick.
Yeah. Welcome to hell.
Yeah, this is gonna be a whole thing.
I, for one, am excited.
You know what? It's gonna be fun because they're all straight Hallmark movies, and those have traditionally been the best ones so far. So if it was a week straight of Hallmark movie and mystery movies, you can fuck off and die. But because they're all straight Hallmark movies, maybe we'll be okay. But yeah, and because I said we do all of them, it's gonna be a long week. So hop on the train with us, because you will be seeing us or hearing us every single day.
So how's your day been?
Yeah, so how you guys doing? We got our Christmas tree today. Usually we try to wait until after Thanksgiving, but it's 2020 and time means nothing, so fuck it.
Yeah. The lady who sold us a tree was very rude.
She was very mean. So if you are on the Fred Meyers on Division,
yes. Your Division Fred Meyers.
You worked the tree lot, and somebody pulled up in a blue car, blue hybrid. You were a bitch.
I don't know if this was like not your department, but like
I heard her mumbling. What happened was, like, she picked up the tree, and I thought she was handing it to me, so I was like, oh, I'll get it. And she was like, no, I just need you to tell me where to put it in your trunk. I was like, okay, damn. Over on the left side. She's like, fine. And then she's like, have a nice night. And then, like, I could hear her mumbling either to the person in front of her or to, like, a walkie-talkie. She was not happy. So
what is her deal?
I don't know.
Like, I asked for an attendant because, like, the tree system to buy in Fred Meyers is nonsense.
It's a little bit weird.
Because you're supposed to, like, rip off part of, like, the tape and you buy it that way. Or you just stick a giant-ass Christmas tree in your cart and take it to the front register. Yeah. Which is, like, insane. So, like, even if you took, like, half the ticket, like, you have to tell the staff or else they don't know to get the tree.
Yeah, it's... Why, were they mean to you when you hit the button?
No. I just...
Yeah, and there's nobody there. Like, there's no, like, person who works in that department.
Yeah, because it's too cold.
Yeah, you just, like, grab somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm, like, we're picking the poor guy who works, like, the meat department. He's like, do you know what to do about Christmas trees? And he's just like, buddy, I will find you someone who does.
Yeah, I picked up some poor kid that walked past me.
Yeah.
He's like, look, I just got hired. I don't know. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Poor guy.
Let me find someone who does. I'm like, okay, sure. I'll wait here. And he brings, like, 2 other people.
Yeah, he brought, like, the A-team.
And they don't seem thrilled to have been brought to this side of the department.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I just need to know the procedure in which to get the Christmas tree.
I'll do it. Just let me know how.
Don't be an asshole about this.
Mm-hmm. Just find me my tree without the sass.
And then the checkout machine accused us of theft because we tried to pay for our thing.
Yeah, we tried to we put the tree little tag in, and that's how we paid for it. But because we didn't put anything on the scale, it freaked out.
And like took a video of us swiping
the
thing, being
weird.
like, "Oh, we recorded your acting, so suspicious." And I'm like, "The hell?"
Just like 1984.
And I'm just like, what even is happening right now?
So basically, that's what it's like when we leave the house. It's just
yeah. So Division Fred Meyers, I need you to get your shit together.
that's you know what I used to work there. That was I used to work in that Fred Meyers, and I guess my cheery fucking disposition didn't rub off on them.
Do you want to tell them to get their shit together?
Oh, get your shit together. Anyway, so that was our day. Hopefully you guys went a little bit smoother, a little bit better. Let us know how you're doing in the comments.
Was your tree salesperson an asshole?
Have you gotten a tree yet? I know some people like with fake trees that they just keep. Like some people set them up in like October this year.
Okay, I want to know the odds of your mom actually taking the tree out of the closet.
No, she will buy a new one, or that tree will die there.
It's plastic and already decorated.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the story. His mom has a plastic fake tree because they don't allow real trees in the apartment.
She lives in an apartment building.
And she puts it in the closet. And I just think it's funny that it's because it's buried behind stuff. She's just like, oh, I'll just get a new one. It's too much trouble.
So my whole family's got a little bit of a thing around Christmas.
I just think it's funny is all.
Me too. You should hear what she calls Brazil nuts.
No.
I can't say that on a Christmas podcast. Anywho, speaking of Christmas and podcasts, we are talking about this week's very first movie on Hallmark, regular Hallmark channel. It is A Nashville Christmas Carol. Speaking of my mom, I think she'd really dig this movie because it is chock full, well, not chock full, partially full of country singers and country stars, but like not the ones you really look towards. Like there's no Reba, there's no Dolly, but there's Winona Judd. Who doesn't like Winona Judd?
One half of what's his name?
It was Kix Brooks, excuse me. Well, you know what? We'll get into that because I have it all written down here. We'll get into that when we get into this. The plot, as such as it is a television producer is forced to work with the man who broke her heart on a country music special while being interrupted by Christmas spirits determined to revisit her past. It stars... I didn't write down who it stars. Uh-oh. I forgot to write down the male lead's name. I believe it's Wes. I'll start with the lady. Her name is Jessie Schramm. She is most famous for her role in the movie Unstoppable, Falling Skies, Mad Men, Chicago Med, Country at Heart, and Once Upon a Time. She played Cinderella.
She's Cinderella?
She played Cinderella.
Oh, good for her.
The director is actually fairly well-versed in television. She did a lot of Shonda Rhimes shows. What are she has a name for all of her kind of shows.
Is it not like the Rhymes universe?
Yeah, the Shondaverse or something like that. Anyway, so she directed episodes of Empire, How to Get Away with Murder, and Lock and Key. She threw in a couple episodes of that. Our male lead is a guy by the name of Wes Brown. Sorry for forgetting your name there, Wes. He is known for being in The Call of the Wild, Now and at the Hour, Check In to Christmas, and of course, We Are Marshall. which is about a football team in the Army Marshals.
I see.
That's where we get, we are Marshall! We are Marshall! Have you never?
I've seen the How I Met Your Mother version. Where
How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother. That would be a hell of a show, wouldn't it?
I'd watch it.
Where Marshall looks in the mirror and he's like, we are Marshall!
Yeah, that's what he's parodying. He's in that movie. I will say, I think this might be my favorite male lead so far.
You think so?
It's either him or the guy from, like, Christmas Tree Lane. The guy who said coffee beans taste like sadness.
Oh, yeah. I did like him.
But I once we get into this movie, like I like the rapport between the two leads.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was I don't know. We'll talk about it when we get there. Anyhow, time to get into the plot proper. Curtain up. We open for the very first time on a musical performance. We get what seems to be a country Christmas television special, the kind you'd see on CMT. They are playing a song called Rockin' Little Christmas, and it is not good. I will say, this is a movie that has a ton of country stars and people who can sing. And it is a straight movie. You missed a huge opportunity to make this a jukebox musical.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
I really thought it was, honestly.
When it opened up with this opening musical thing, I thought I was for sure this is a like a musical. You know, throw in a couple Christmas songs, a couple country songs, pimp your new album, let's go home. But there is maybe 2 musical performances, one at the very beginning, one at the very end. And then, like, we kind of sing, It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, or something like that, kind of closer to the end. Big swing and a miss when you have this kind of, like, talent, and you just don't use it. Yeah. Anyway, our main character, his name is Vivian. She is the producer. She's basically the director, because she does everything. And spends the majority of her time on screen nitpicking the show. This thing has to change. This is over here. Keep the big billboard in the back, so on and so forth. Her assistant, whose name is Georgia and is actually her sister, is going to law school, and she believes that the show shouldn't open with Rockin' Little Christmas. It should open with a classic Christmas tune. To which Vivian replies, "No, we can't do that. There's too much baggage." And she goes, "Right, deck the halls. It's rife with angst." Gavin is our male lead, who is the manager of one of the stars on the show, one of the singers. He has one client, and it's her. He has had this one client for 10 years. Starting to think he's not a great agent.
No.
But you can't say he doesn't give you all of his time. So Gavin and Vivian seem to know each other. It's like, at this moment, it's kind of like implied that they were going out together and they broke up and things went badly. That's not quite how it happened. When you find out how they broke up, it's ridiculous. So that night, Vivian has a bunch of resumes out looking for her replacement, because she is in line for a big producer job in Los Angeles to produce a music awards show. That's not a full-time job. Like,
it sounds like, what's that thing for the country, the CMAs?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it was non-copyright CMAs.
Yeah, like, there's a couple things, like, later on we'll go to the Musicians Hall of Fame in Nashville, where I guess the whole thing is, hey, music. Not any particular kind of music. Just music.
Don't we have one of those?
We have a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I believe there's a Country Hall of Fame in Nashville. But that wasn't this one. This is just the Musicians Hall of Fame.
And museum.
And museum. And actually, So her sister is trying to get her and Gavin to talk again. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, I set up a meeting between you two at the Musicians Hall of Fame. She's like, why? She's like, I thought you'd wanted it to be private. Fucking ouch.
Well, you can't blame her for thinking that one through.
Yes. Vivian is on her way to Los Angeles, but she's scared because it's big and scary, and she just spends all her time here in here in Nashville, and she just loves her job so much, and she has no time for Christmas because of how much she's putting into her work. Sound familiar? What episode are we on? 15?
15, I think.
This has happened, I would wager, in 8 of them. At least.
Yeah.
There are subsections of film, and it feels like we watch the same one every single time. Like, I know we don't, but every so often I'm just like, we just saw this movie. This was Cranberry Lane, damn it. So Gavin and Viv have the meeting at the very generic Musicians Hall of Fame, and it is immediately antagonistic. Like, did he light your dog on fire?
Like, did you ever see that musical number from Wicked where they're like, your face, your voice, your clothing? Like,
loathing, pure loathing.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you guys could have done a country cover of that. It would have been great.
That would have been fun. I don't see, like, again, I don't see why this isn't a musical. So, Gavin comes in and he's like, hey, I wanted to talk to you. And she's like, what of it, dick? Mm-hmm. And he's like, I think we should put a dog in the opening musical. Why? Well, because my client, Belinda, has, like, a lot of, I think it's a charity, like, basically ASPCA, like, look, dogs. And it'd look cute if she had a dog.
Who the fuck doesn't love dogs?
And she's like, fine, we'll see what I can do. He's like, oh, by the way, that big billboard in the back has to go. And Vivian's like, no, I will die defending that. All right, bye. Okay. This has been a waste of time. The next day at work, Vivian finds an unmarked, undisclosed box sitting on her chair and opens it like a moron. Inside, she finds a wooden music box and not, as I would have assumed, anthrax.
I mean, if you're that mean to your production staff, wouldn't you assume they were trying to kill you?
Well, again, like, if somebody was just like, hey, there's a box here. Anybody know what it is? No. Bomb squad.
Mm-hmm.
It's especially in a terrorist hotbed that is Nashville. So she takes it out and starts to play it, and it plays "O Come All Ye Faithful," and she's like, "Oh, that's cute. Listen to the music." And the person she's talking to does not hear it. Like, she can hear the music play, and it's just nobody else can hear it, just her. That doesn't really come into anything. It's just like a weird, like, oh, that's messed up. All right, on to the next thing. I guess it just, like, I don't know, cements the fact that it's magical.
Yeah.
The head of the whole ass network is here, which is going to put some pressure on you, and is basically vetting her for the job in Los Angeles.
You think he would have shelled that thing out for someone else?
Yeah, like the president of the whole, like, this is like the head of NBC is like, I want to see how this one producer does. Damn.
Got nothing. You avoiding the holidays with your family there? Like,
yeah. The pressure immediately becomes too much for her, and she goes right into bitch mode. Which is weird, because up until this point, she's been a very, like, nice individual. Like, she talks somebody down about, like, she's, unsure about her skill. She's like, I wouldn't have put you in the show if I wasn't absolutely sure. Like, she seemed like a really nice woman until right here. And then just like, oh, okay. That gave me a character whiplash. What did you think?
Your girl's a psycho. Like, you couldn't blame a lot of it on the fact that suddenly, the president of the network is like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
But, like, there's a certain point, like, it carried over into, like, just random stuff in real life.
Yeah.
Like, later on, like, her sister's just like, you were nice once. And by once, I mean yesterday.
Yeah.
And just, like, you gave that girl a pep talk. She's like, oh, I just said what you wanted to hear. It's no big deal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's,
whoa!
this is not the character you spent, we're like 10 minutes in the movie. This is not how she was built up.
Yeah.
But it's funny, because she went from just, like, and I understand the pressure, just like, oh god, okay, having a panic attack, let's see what we can do. But she's just like, what's that? I'm under pressure now. Everybody fuck off! Okay.
Yeah, she found a plate of cookies from, like, craft services sitting on the table, be like, why are there cookies out?
Yeah.
And, like, one dude named Parker, who becomes important later.
Yeah, he's out.
He's just like, we're human and we're hungry and it's Christmas.
We like cookies.
And it's like, why is there a milk jug? And she gets paint all over her hands.
Yeah. So Vivian goes walking down a utility hallway and then starts to hear, "O come all ye faithful." Which, this is the second movie where I believe we are in Silent Hill. Because, like, it comes out of nowhere. And she's just like, I guess it's behind this door. She opens the door and into a country western bar. Which would have been a good transition if it wasn't the worst green screen I have ever seen.
It was shaky.
It was legitimately shaky. If you watch the corners, like, you could see it kind of... I'm visually describing it, forgetting that this is a podcast. But you can, like, see it, like, kind of jitter on the thing.
Is that just, like, a bad job of green screening stuff?
Was
the tarp moving?
More like... Yeah, it's more like they didn't have the time or the budget. It's good if you're not paying attention. Which nobody, like, very few people are. Only dickheads like me going, the special effects in this Hallmark movie aren't very good. But it's just something I noticed. So she walks through and she's like into the country western bar. She's like, well, I'm out of here. She turns and opens the door again, and she's in the middle of a street. So you're stuck here, honey. So she turns around and... Sorry, go on.
I was just saying, if I was her, she's taking this like a champ, because I would be like, okay, I'm having one of those episodes where I lost time and ended up somewhere where I'm not supposed to be. Oh, yeah. I'm dying.
Whose blood is this? So she kind of like walks around for a bit, and then she runs into her old boss and a music legend, like a producer legend in the business. She studied under her for several years. This is upsetting for several reasons, not least of which because she's dead. This is played by Winona Judd, country superstar Winona Judd. And it's just always nice to see her.
I like how she was just like, you can do it. You can do it. It's a 4-letter word. It starts with D.
Yeah, she's like, oh my god, but you're... She's like, yep, you can say it. It's like, 4-letter word, starts with D. She's like, dead. Like, hey, all right, we got past that. It was very Beetlejuice the musical. You know, the whole being dead thing. So Vivian's like, why is this happening to me and how do I get out of it? And Winona Judd is basically like, I'm just going to call her Winona Judd throughout the rest of this movie because it doesn't matter what her real name is.
True.
She's like, hey, I died alone and friendless and via a heart attack due to stress. So I'm here to make sure that you don't go the same way I do.
And she's like, but you're my idol. Yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't be. So it's like, I'm going to make sure that you turn out better. I specifically am not going to do anything, but other people are. And then we cut to a guy playing guitar on the stage. This is the Ghost of Christmas Past, played by Kix Brooks of Brooks and Dunn. Always...
Full name, what was it? Christmases that have long since passed?
Yeah, you can call him Pat.
I thought that was a fun joke.
I thought it was a little cute. And, like, the character seems to be, well, Kix Brooks. Like, he's not acting for shit. But, of course, they didn't ask you to. So Kix Brooks and Winona Judd are here to help you along because Vivian was Judd's friend when, like, nobody else would be her friend. what with her being a bitch and all. So she's like, hey, I might as well help you out. And she's like, but normally when we do this kind of thing, we have one night. Here we have 5. So we are going to stretch this sucker out to a 90-minute runtime. I will say that this is a very lazy retelling of a Christmas Carol. Like, if you had taken out the Christmas Carol part, this would have been a fine movie.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, like, a Christmas Carol. She still had to know the error of her ways, right?
I would almost call it a Chino.
Huh?
Like, it's about a Christmas show, but, like, does it feel Christmassy? Not really. Take Christmas out of this movie.
Okay.
Is it the same movie?
Yeah, probably.
Chino.
Oh.
I think a little bit.
But still, like, the Christmas Carol is a fundamentally Christmas story.
Yeah, but
Like,
I feel like it's attaching itself to a Christmas Carol. Like, you thought of, like, we'll do a country Christmas Carol, I guess. It's like, okay, how are you going to do that? I don't know, we'll figure it out later. And then you wrote the movie and you went, fuck. We like, it's kind of there, I guess. Because there's a point later on in the film where they just abandon it. You know what I'm talking about?
A little bit, yeah. We hit them in 90-minute runtime. There's no reason to keep going.
We spend so much time with the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Yeah.
A little, and like almost no time with anybody else.
That's true.
So Brooks starts up playing up on the housetop with the jukebox, and we Sabrina the Teenage Witch ourselves out of here. Cut to the past. Flashback to little Viv. Oh, I should say, when the commercials hit and they come back, every single time I could not tell. Especially when it opens on different characters, like the characters in the past or like somebody else. I swore we were still in a commercial.
That's true.
I was gonna say, you did too, right?
Yeah, because she was literally shooting commercials, so it looked like a car.
Yeah, but like it would be like the car pulling up. I'm like, oh, this is a Kia commercial. Nope, that's Vivian. Okay, shit. Because like we have commercials, we fast forward through them, so you kind of have to stop. And if there's no marking on the screen, no like Hallmark, no like little snowflake or anything like that, you have no idea. So there's frequently where I'll just be like, oh, okay, this is where the show is. Oh, I am like a minute and 45 seconds in. I've done terrible things. So flashback to little Viv playing with the camera. She was rooting through her closet and she found an old camera and some old pictures of her and Gavin. And this old like VHS camera. So we see her setting up like her first Christmas special. It's her and her sister and her assistant, a little kid who is Gavin. I thought this was a pretty interesting twist. They have been friends since they were kids.
They put little cowboy hats on snow people because that's what you do in Nashville.
Yeah, she's like, oh, that snowman needs a hat. And he's like, all right. It's like, not that kind of hat. And he goes, why? Snowmen can't be cowboys?
Fair point.
You're right. So they do like a little song and dance number. The little kid sings a song.
She's not singing. She's lip syncing to like a
lip syncing. You're right. I'm sorry.
And it's very cute because the little sister is like, if Vivian's like 6, she's like 4.
4 at most. Yeah. So yeah, they shoot this little Christmas thing, and it's like a whole lot of fun. And then her mother calls them inside for cookies, I think.
Or dinner or something
like that. And Gavin helps her clean up, and he goes, hold on. And he steps in front of the camera. And he's like, hi, my name is Gavin. I'm 10 years old, and I hope me and Vivian are friends forever. Aww. By the way, this is an old VHS camera. For some reason, it's the exact same quality as all the other cameras shooting this movie.
She had a very high-tech camera for...
Yeah.
1991.
It was HD in the 90s. It's crazy. And Vivian is like, oh, it's like, this is a nice moment. Cheering up, it's like, oh, we were so young. Look at how happy we were. And there's my mom. And then Kix Brooks ruins the fucking mood by going, oh, yeah. This is the last Christmas you were all together, wasn't it? She's like, yeah. My mom left that March. Whoa!
It's never brought up again, but that is the reason why she runs into the house, though. She's like, oh, I have to warn her.
Yeah,
I have to tell the babies.
Yeah, she's like, I have to. That kid has no idea what's about to happen to her. I have to warn her, but it's a Christmas Carol, so she can't affect anything. That's the kind of time travel rules we're playing with. And so she runs in, and it's like a year later. A lot of these transitions, like I know we just clowned on the green screen one, but a lot of the practical ones are actually pretty good.
Yes, sure.
Like, there are moments where she's in the past, and then, like, she's runs through a door and she's in the present. And there's moments where I'm like, oh, fuck, we're here now. Nice. She tries to warn little Viv about what's coming to the future, but we are, like, next Christmas, where Mom is gone, Dad is kind of poor, and both of them kind of use all of their energy on her little sister, who's named Georgia. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah. No.
So, like, Georgia gets, like, this awesome present, and Vivian doesn't. She gets something.
She gets a bracelet.
A bracelet, right?
And it's not like a nice, like, Zales bracelet. It's like a cheap, cheap.
It's like it's a bracelet, yeah. The dad apologizes and says, I'll make it up for you on your birthday. And, like, she's, like, smiling behind the tears kind of thing. I will say the kid actors who we see briefly, but they're kind of important in these particular spots, are very good. So
Hallmark really knows where to source child actor.
I will say,
like, premium child actors.
More often than not, the kid actors are, like, they're serviceable, but even beyond that, they're damn good. For kid actors in a Hallmark movie, like, adjust your expectations accordingly, but still, damn. So they, Vivian's like, oh, why do you keep showing me stuff like this? And he's like, Kix Brooks is like, well, that's for you to decide. And she follows him out of the house, but, like, ends up in her studio.
I like to point out that she calls him out and be like, that's for you to decide. And she's like, doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. So, that was one of those transitions where we're just like, and I'm here. Back in the present, Gavin and Vivian fight about adding a dog to the opening number because Gavin went over her head to the boss who approved the idea. And she didn't much care for that. Country Christmas Live is the name of the show, but it is taped.
Yeah.
Because I guess this really does take place in 2020.
Sure.
And nothing is live anymore.
Well, they couldn't very well put a crowd in that theater.
I know. Except for us. Monday at 3 o'clock, you can join us for a live stream. Anyway. No, tomorrow's Sunday. Yeah. Oh my god.
Time means nothing.
Time means nothing. Sunday at 3 o'clock, you can join us for a live stream. I'll tell you more at the end. Stick around. I winked. Do you think they noticed?
Yeah.
Good. Gavin immediately apologizes for going over her head and makes, like, an exchange. You put the dog in the show, and I will plan your rap party.
Which is very important. It's a rap party.
Yeah. Gavin leaves, but forgets his scarf, and Vivian goes to return it, and she walks through the door into the Twilight Zone back in the 90s. She goes and she sees Gavin, who is like a young man of 18, and she's like, whoa, that ain't right. And then in comes young Vivian, who's like, oh, hey, you're here. And then Kix is like behind her like, what's up?
And I personally was like, it's very rude not to time travel without someone's consent. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I like how she's already applying, like, politeness rules to time travel.
She's already sick of this. Like, she has had it up to here with time travel. And so we see Gavin and Vivian's relationship as they got older became, like, almost dating, but never really kind of... Nobody knows what to say kind of thing, and they just kind of continue being on friends. which is another little twist. These two didn't get together and break up. They were never together.
That's true. They never pulled the trigger on the whole thing.
Yeah. They danced around it a little bit. They went on, like, dates, but they were, like, friend dates.
Mm-hmm. Friend dates plus.
Yeah.
There's something romantic about it.
Date and a half.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting twist on the formula. This is also the first time where we see Gavin is totally and completely into Vivian, and Vivian is oblivious as all hell, which is a nice change on the Les Mis formula.
He could be singing Friendzone the song, and we'd be like, I don't know what you're doing wrong, bud.
Tending she's beside me on my own. She just don't fucking get it.
Seriously, what is he doing wrong? He's just like, you want to go? And she's like, you mean like on a date? And he's like,
no.
Yeah. Oh, you're blushing. That's so silly. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, like, he went out for it. He's like, on a date, and he's like, yeah? He's like, haha, jokes. I'll see you there. And he's like, damn it. So, a little later that day in the future, but in the past, they're walking down some sort of, like, Christmas carnival kind of thing, where Gavin is talking about signing his very first client, who we now know as the person in the future.
As his only client.
And is his only client, and will be until the end of the movie. And, I imagine, much past that. And about how his dad is a real dick who doesn't think he's in a real line of work.
I mean, like, his dad owns a construction company. He's just willing to give him a job, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, Dad, I'm going to be a talent agent, and I'm going to make a living that way. And he's like, do you have any clients? And he's like, not yet.
Yeah.
So, in his dad's defense, it's not a solid plan.
It's not, but, like, give him a little bit. Just say, hey, if you need it, there's a job waiting for you, but also, it's yours.
That's true.
He does not do that, and is, like, playful about it. Like, they call him and his mom and his dad call him, and he's like, sorry, I'm at work. And his dad's like, puh, is that what he calls it? Shut the fuck up, you old bastard. Somebody's gonna pull your plug, and I can't wait until it's me. You're going into one of those homes they talk about on Dateline.
Oh, no.
Anyway, Vivian, however, is super supportive.
She's the one.
Nothing like an elder abuse joke on a podcast about Christmas movies. Later still, that same past day, Vivian is pushing Gavin to sign this big country lady. And she's like, hey, if you do sign her, I have directing experience. I don't really, but this could be my directing experience. If you would, if you get the video, you're going to need a video. You have a director. And Gavin gives her the job immediately. This bites him in the ass. Also, I have noticed this is where Nope, we're still in the past. They sit down and have like an almost kiss, and then it gets broken up. We have those every single movie.
Yeah, because the kiss is the big thing.
I know, but it's starting to get on my nerves.
But it's the big crescendo, right? So...
I know, but like especially in this one, they get so close, and then like somebody is, I think Vivian backs away.
Yeah, I think Vivian chickens out.
But it's every movie, it's starting to grate on me. By like the 40th movie, I'm just gonna be like, come on! Start throwing bottles at the TV.
On the plus side, they got to play Christmas-based cornhole, so that's cool, right?
Yeah, that is kind of nice.
And had the biggest goal, like, he got 3 for 3 and got a life-size snowman.
Yeah.
I want to play that game. I didn't see him hand him money for this cornhole.
That's true. This is one of their, like, in this interaction between the two, you really see their, like, energy and chemistry together. It's very good. Like, they do really sound like they were friends. And not like the past, like, we were in a relationship. Like friends, how you give each other shit.
Yeah. And she's like, I missed one, and I get this cheap $1 plastic red nose.
Yeah.
And you got all three and got a life-size snowman.
He's like, second place, what up? So upon seeing this flashback, Vivian starts to tear up because it was a very happy moment for her. And she's like, that's not fair because you just keep showing me all the good moments. You gotta, show how this ended. And Brooks is like, you sure you want that? She's like, yeah, well, I'll show you what it was like. And so we're about to see the big, cataclysm between the two. They are at some big fancy party with a red carpet and everything. She calls Georgia on the phone. She's like, everything is so shiny, they look glazed. Glazed! Then it cuts to current Vivian watching everything. And she says that this is the worst night of her life.
Your mom left. This is the worst night?
Yeah. So this is the night where Gavin's artist gets signed by a major record label. And, this is the party they find out and they announce it for her. So Vivian immediately talks to, the record deal guy. And he's like, oh, great. I have so many ideas about the music video. What if we did this, and this? And the guy is like, A, I don't know you. B... no. We're gonna go with somebody who's actually done this before, because this is her first single. It needs a deft hand, somebody who knows what they're doing, or else her career's never gonna get off the ground. And she's like, oh, well, we'll just talk to Gavin about this. And she stomps over to Gavin, and she's like, hey, he's not gonna let me direct the music video. And Gavin's like, well, I mean, he's probably right. He knows more about this than I do. And then she stomps away in a huff. And it is presumed that they never speak again after this moment. Lady, if this is the worst night of your life, boy, are you just you're living pretty high on the hog here.
Yeah, she's pretty privileged.
Also, this is the same night. This is the same party. She meets Winona Judd.
Yeah, the eggnog's pretty good.
Yeah. Winona Judd, who is a sassy kind of character. She's fun to see. She is just hey, you watched that country music thing they did last night? And she's like, yeah, it was so boring. They played 2 songs back to back, and I was just are they trying to put us to sleep? She's like, yeah. I'm so-and-so, big fancy name. She's like, oh my god, you're a huge. And you also directed the country thing. Yeah, that you just said put you to sleep. Wow. But basically, she takes a liking to Vivian and gives her the job that she holds to this day. Worst night of her life, I guess. This is where I was like, okay, I don't feel bad for you anymore. I know the point is she's supposed to be an unlikable character, because, or else she wouldn't need the ghosts. But, dude.
I
don't know, what did you think?
The worst night of her life is that she didn't get the job that her not boyfriend didn't have the ability to promise to her.
Well, it's more he didn't fight for me, and...
You can't fight for yourself there, sweetheart.
Yeah. That's the other thing. You promise your friends dumbs all the time. When I get rich and famous, we're all going to Vegas. And then, you'll be my manager, and you'll be my assistant, and you'll be my drug dealer, keeper awayer. But, nobody ever, cashes in on that.
Yeah. And also, you got a job out of the deal anyway, so what are you complaining about?
She talks to Winona Judd, and she's like, oh my god, you've won 4 Emmys. And she goes, 5. Well, one of them was a daytime Emmy, so let's call it 4.5.
Do those not count?
They are less interesting.
I see.
Because they're for, the daytime talk shows and, the soap operas, that kind of thing. An Emmy's an Emmy. Obviously, it's an award, but,
Yeah.
You're not going up against Breaking Bad if you're the talk.
I see.
Later that night, Winona takes her to, like, the theater that they work in. And Gavin tries to call her to, like, apologize and get the word out. And she turns him down. Because Winona Judd tells her just, like, don't even worry about it. It sounds like he's out for himself.
Which was actually the crux of the problem.
Yeah. And again, they never speak again. Because 2 weeks after this, Gavin moves to Los Angeles.
He straight up ghosts her.
No, she goes to him. He tries.
Yeah, that's true. But he doesn't even try to say goodbye.
No, he did. That was the point. Later on, I think it's Kix, who says, like, he tried to call you several times and you never answered.
Oh, yeah. Texts? Is it 1991? Do texts?
I don't know what... Yeah, you know what? Maybe right. So, in the present, she talks to her sister about how Gavin broke her heart and broke his promise. And even her sister's like, that was 10 years ago.
Oh my god, get over it.
Yeah, she talks to her dad on Skype.
Yeah.
And the sister, and they're both just like, dude, still? The next night, Vivian and her sister go out for lunch, where her sister has surreptitiously also invited Gavin to force these two to talk. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, I have to go away now.
I would like to point out that in this mulled cider bar, they have cups where you could fit 4 regular cups in there, and you could fill them to the brim with mulled cider. Where are these restaurants?
I don't know.
Where are these restaurants?
We're gonna go next time we're allowed out of the house.
It looks like there was a fucking, like, what do you call those? Hibachi grills behind them? Like,
yeah.
What fucking Benihana did you rent out?
Is there a Christmas Benihana? Do they, like, make little snowmen out of rice?
I've never actually been there during the Christmas time, so...
I would love that. And if it doesn't exist, I'm gonna make it exist. Does anybody want to go 50-50 on a business venture with me?
Field question.
Not joking. Okay.
We could call it roasting chestnuts.
Love it. So Gavin sits down and Vivian just, like, kind of no-sells him. He's like, hey, so, how's it going? Jay's like, I also have to leave because fuck you. And Gavin is just like, hey, remember that time when we were kids? She's like, I also remember when we were children, idiots. And he's like, no, what we used to do at Christmas. She's like, we used to exchange Christmas lists, so they would get everything they wanted, and if they didn't, they would get their parents would get something else, so they could borrow it from each other.
That's some deep state kids, like, just manipulation.
That's some planning. They would ask for the same thing, so if one doesn't get it, the other does. That's smooth. And this throwback caused them to, like, talk and have fun like they usually do. Which was nice. Gavin tries to ask Vivian to take tomorrow off so they can hang out, but she refuses because work.
She's also 4 days before a recording of a Christmas special, so, you know.
Yeah.
Her being stressed out with the head of production there probably is a work situation.
Yeah, probably. It didn't help. So they leave together, and they cross a busker who Vivian gives $1 to. And that busker looks a hell of a lot like Kix Brooks. And she, like, double takes, and she's like, I'm gonna go check that guy out. And he's like, what's up? We're going to the past! So we go back to the Christmas party, the worst night of her life. But we see it from Gavin's point of view. And Gavin talks to his client, and his client's like, hey, is that her? And he's like, yeah. You go tell her how you feel, or I swear to God. And he's like, you think now is the time? And she's like, yeah, I'm signed. Like, this is after they tell him he's signed. Go tell her now, because this is a great night, and that's going to be great. And then this is where she comes stomping in, going, he's not going to give me the job. So Gavin makes repeated attempts to try to meet her again, but, like, everybody's telling him to, like, forget her. Like, he's like, oh, we'll take a picture. And he's like, no, I have to go. She's mad at me. I have to go. He's like, nah, don't worry about it. You're rich now. And he's like, no, I should really go. Like, she deserves the job. I'm going to give her the job. And he's like, oh, well, if you give her the job, maybe you won't need a music video after all. And he's just like, okay.
Fucking politics.
That's true. Gavin kept calling, but he kept getting turned down. So he figured that at this point, there was nothing keeping him in Nashville. So he moved to Los Angeles. And this is where Vivian has that, oh, I'm awful kind of moment. What'd you think?
Honestly, she probably could have pieced it together without the spirit of, what's his name? Garth Brooks? Kix Brooks. Without Kix Brooks there to tell her to rewind the clock and use magical powers. Literally, all her sister had to do was put her hands on the shoulder and be all like, do you think he tried to apologize? Yeah, just like slapped her across the face and be like, look, you only had one friend and he went to LA.
Mm-hmm.
You think he's just gonna abandon ship like that? For fuck's sake, woman. But, no, I think this part's a little superfluous, but it gets the point across.
Yeah. Back to the present day, and now Vivian realizes that, hey, Gavin was always on her side. I'm the bitch. And this is also the end of the Ghost of Christmas Past. Vivian gets into a cab and says goodbye to Gavin, and she says, hey, I will take tomorrow off. Let's hang out. And then the car drives away, and Gavin goes, huh. He must have been a really good guitar player. They go have their day out, and we get our customary, how long have you two been together? What? Us? No. What? No. Us? No.
Well, she keeps thinking about work. You got her mind off of it. You know?
They have the scene where they go, like, hang out at this, like, Christmas fair.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Nothing of interest happens.
That's true. Nothing really at all happens at this
We
point.
have a brief moment where they talk about how Gavin donates to toys, and then that's really... That never comes back. But the Vivian also donates under her boss's name.
Her very dead boss's
Her very dead boss's name. This doesn't come up until the very end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why we brought it up with, what's his name?
Well, we had to hit 90 minutes, and we didn't want to do the Ghosts of Christmas Future, I guess.
I was going to say, if you made it a musical, we wouldn't have this problem. So he drops her off in her car, which, again, looked like a car commercial. Boy, I sure do want a Kia. And Gavin kind of says how that you always listen to me complain about my dad when we were kids all the time, but you never complained about your family, even though your mom left and, like, you had to grow up really fast. And she said that it was hard sometimes, but she always knew she'd be okay because of the people she cares about. Aww.
Oh, girl, you need therapy.
Yeah. Vivian goes inside of her living room, and inside is a tree and a flapper from the 1950s dressed in a shockingly red dress. This is the Ghost of Christmas Present. No, this should have been the Ghost of Christmas Past. How'd you fuck that up? Because she's speaking in, like, that old-timey Atlantic accent.
Oh.
Like, she's trying to be Southern. This is Kimberly Williams Paisley, by the way. Wife of Brad Paisley.
Who's that?
Country superstar Brad Paisley.
I see. Okay.
She is an actor, not a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird, because she's the worst actress here. Brad Paisley is currently the judge on American Idol.
Oh!
It's him, Lionel Richie, and Katy Perry.
Oh.
Anyway, because she's trying to do, like, a Southern accent, but, like, a really heavy Southern accent. And it kind of comes back around as being that, like, transatlantic, mid-Atlantic, American 1940s voice.
Cheese souffle!
Yeah. It's okay. I'm just goofing around.
Charlie Gardner. So we flash to the country show where Georgia is working on something. And Vivian is like, oh, that's funny. She thinks I work too much, but this is her day off, and she's working. Oh, she's working all right.
but not how you think. Because coming up behind her is the PA from earlier in the movie. You said his name and I forgot it.
Parker.
Comes up behind her and they like make a little like gift together, and they've been dating. Like they're clearly in a relationship.
I like the way that the ghost of Christmas Present be like, I'm the ghost of Christmas Present. I don't know these things. Do I look like the ghost of the past 6.5 months?
Yeah. She's like, how long have they been together? She's like, oh, honey, I don't know. I'm the ghost of Christmas Present. It's not like they've been dating for 6.5 months. This is slowly going into a John Mulaney impression. As one does.
No, but like she starts yelling at... Because, like, the rules of the Christmas characters, you can't affect anything the ghosts do.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts yelling at the, like, 6.5 months! Are you look at me, young lady, look! And I'm like, have you not gotten a grasp on how this works out?
And she's like, can you blame her for never saying anything? And she goes, yes!
Well, there's that bitch spirit back.
Yeah. That night, Vivian tries to get Georgia to tell her all about the date with Parker. She's like, isn't there anything you want to tell me? George is like, yeah, I don't want to go to law school. She's like, whoa.
Fair. Don't go to law school unless you're committed to the bit.
Don't be a lawyer.
Don't do it.
The quickest way to ruin your life.
Don't be a lawyer.
Not worth it. It'll make you dead inside.
The job is inherently crappy.
That's why you never meet a lawyer who's happy. It's guaranteed soul destroyer. Don't be a lawyer.
But no, as someone who's gone through that, unless you're like 100% committed to this bit, it'll just destroy your soul for no reason, and you'll be out $50,000 to $100,000 a year.
Thanks, I hate it.
You should. It's bad.
Yeah. So George's like, I don't want to go to law school. I really enjoy working with you on the show, and if it's okay, I want to continue working with you. And Vivian flips her shit, like way beyond what is normal here.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, because you just want to stay because of Parker. She's like, how did you know about that? And she's like, you think there's anything on my set I don't know about? Smooth. Well, you couldn't very well say. A ghost told me.
Well, she tried to tell her sister earlier in the cafe when she was forced to meet Gavin, right? Mm-hmm. Her sister wasn't paying attention for shit, and she tested it, be like, well, I'm being haunted by the ghost of Christmas past, and I saw a bunch of stuff. And it's just like, cool.
So she's been wanting to say it for months now, but she was afraid how Vivian would react. So, great relationship here.
So the answer still is poorly.
Mm-hmm. The next day at work, Vivian gets told that she's got the job at Los Angeles, but she has to switch out Gavin's client for somebody more famous and new. And so, that's rough. Got to deal with that.
But that's just showbiz.
Vivian says that they usually have the cast party before they film, which is the opposite of what these parties are for.
Yeah, the wrap party is supposed to be like, we're done, yay!
After you wrap. But I guess we're doing it before, because nothing has you give a good performance like drinking heavily the day before. Yikes. Gavin comes over to help her decorate the tree, and Vivian tries to tell him about the ultimatum she was given. She's like, hey, I have something to tell you. And Gavin's like, the last 4 days have been so great. It really feels like we're going, getting back together and our relationship is strengthening. And I really like it. And she's just like, your client's out of the middle, the beginning of the show. I have to put her in the middle somewhere. And he's like, okay, maybe let me change the mood before we stab me in the heart.
Well, he was doing that thing that like they do in Christmas Tree Lane and like they do in other movies where we're just like, look how happy you are, look how happy I am, look how happy you are, what's your news? And they're like,
yeah, you're right.
And she was basically like, if I don't get this out of my system right now, I'm never gonna tell him.
Never will. And Gavin is like, well, that sucks. But just if it's okay, let me tell her. And Vivian's like, awesome, we'll do that. The next scene, Gavin goes to his father. We see him for like the first or second time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, I'm going to the cast party, and we'll see you there. And he's like, oh, well, you know, maybe one day you'll get a real job, ha ha ha. And Gavin, in the most polite, effective way, tells him to fuck himself.
Also, his dad can't hold any of his tools when he was trying to, like, craft little houses.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, not only did you politely tell him to go fuck himself, I'm pretty sure he's going to die of some sort of cerebral palsy.
I was going to say, did they ever insinuate he had MS or cerebral palsy or anything?
No.
Because, like, he's trying to carve an edge into something. And he keeps dropping and he goes, oh, I can't get a grip. Neither can you, right? Man, I'm gonna take this Dremel and jab it into your fucking temple. Get ready for a life of mushy peas, old man. But yeah, and so that never comes up before or since. But he just can't, like, pick up the thing.
It's very strange. So your dad's probably dying of MS, so that sucks.
Sorry.
But he does politely tell him to go fuck himself.
Yeah. And then he just kind of, like, stands there just like, oh, maybe I have been a shitty father.
Which is never the reaction you get from politely telling people to go fuck themselves.
No, I'm here to tell you. At the party, Vivian is in the performance hall, and Gavin's client, like, sneaks up on her. I assume to kneecap her with a tire iron. But no. She's just standing there, like, for no reason.
Like, taking in the scenery of the stage, I guess.
And Vivian's like, hey, you know, sorry we had to bump you. And she was like, oh, that's okay. I will be back. And, like, goes away. And she runs into Gavin. He's like, oh, yeah, you know, your client's taking this whole thing really well. And she's like, I haven't told her yet. Okay, well, she knows because I just told her. And now she's missing. Cool. And then Georgia runs up and is like, hey, the lady we just replaced her with is also missing. Good.
As the head of NBC there walks across and be like, what's this about her missing?
Who's missing now?
And she's just like, I just got the news the same time as you did. And she's just like, maybe you aren't fit if they're both missing. It's like, I literally have only been able to deal with this for 5 seconds. Give me a fucking minute.
And she's like, I'm gonna go find him. And Georgia goes, what do you do when you find her? She says, I will strap her to the top of my car like a Christmas tree.
I'm gonna use that somewhere. Don't know where. But it seems like a good one.
So as she's running to go find these two starlets, we run into the ghost of Christmas Present, who sends her back to the party we were literally just at, where everybody's talking shit about her. It's been a rough night to be Vivian.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you work for Vivian, it's gonna be a nightmare, right?
That's how it starts. They're just like, oh, Vivian. You know, she's so much. She's such a bitch. She can't, like, you know, it's so hard to talk to her, this and that. She never listens.
And her sister's just sitting there drinking her drink through a straw, like, just like Baby Yoda style. Like, ooh, drink.
And Parker is like, sorry, honey, but, like, you know. And she's like, hey, you know, my sister's not that bad. She worked very hard for us when we were kids. But, you know, she's had a rough life, blah, blah, blah. And even Vivian's like, I get it. We did this with the Ghost of Christmas Past. I'm a piece of shit. Can we move on? And the Ghost of Present is just like, oh no, that's not what we're here for. Follow me. Fuck! So they take her, and this is where we learn that she donates toys. And she's like, oh, you know, you've helped so many people do it with so many things. And all this comes out of nowhere. Like, all of her good deeds, except for, like, taking care of her family.
Or being a personable boss.
Yeah, this is the first time we ever see anything like that. And so he's like, oh no, the point wasn't to rag on you. This is just to show you, like, how great the world is with you in it. If you just, you know, quit being such a bitch all the time.
To all the people immediately around you. Like, the reason her dad's in Tahiti, or whatever it's called, is because she just couldn't deal with him, so she put him on a boat. Like,
yeah, they literally put him in a fridge. So, and she was like, okay, great, then why are we here in this particular spot? Goes, because you were looking for these two, right? And they turn, and those are the two country stars. And they're just like, they were both freaking out at the same time because one lost her spot and one gained a very prime spot, and they were just like, ah. So they're like, whenever I get nervous and I just need to clear my head, I find a place where I can sing. And it's like, you strike me as that type who would like sing at a wedding when nobody asked you. You know what I mean?
Like push the band out the way.
Yeah. It's my time to sing Ave Maria. So they sing It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year as a duet. This is our second song in 90 minutes.
Ugh.
And it's not like a full song because we have dialogue in the middle of it. So,
They're very good though.
Also, they were doing like carol karaoke. Like we're outside with like a microphone stand and like I think it's a piano player.
Or DJ.
Or a DJ of some sort. And then like, is that a thing?
Not that I know.
Like carol karaoke where you can just come up and start singing Christmas songs?
I feel like it should be.
So as Vivian is listening to the people, she gets transported back in time out of nowhere. By the way, we're done with Ghost of Christmas Present.
Unlike Past, we don't get a big goodbye out of Present.
Yeah, we Past gets a hug.
Yeah.
Present gets nothing. So we rewind a little bit. She's like, I didn't go anywhere. And Winona Judd's like, yeah, you did. Because we're back a couple minutes now. Like, oh, okay. What are you doing here? She's like, I just wanted to say that, like, you spent your whole job trying to be as good as me, but you're not as good as me. You're better. It's like, you just have to, realize the mistakes you're making, and, you'll do great things. And she goes like, what about the Ghost of Christmas Future? It's like, oh, there is no Ghost of Christmas Future.
Lies and slander.
Bullshit. What? So
that's the fun one. That one takes all of 5 minutes. You just show her, everyone being like, you suck, and her body on fire, and we scare her into being a good person.
I thought Winona Judd was the Ghost of Christmas Future. So like, if you're not careful, you're going to end up like me. I'm like, death. Cool, that would have been fine. No, there is no Ghost of Christmas Future. Way to half at 2/3 ass. A Christmas Carol.
Yeah, you just dropped the whole gimmick.
Like,
they're like, we create our own future. No. That's not how the formula works.
It's a song that hasn't been sung yet. You had this teed up so sweet. And then you were just like, oh, fuck, we're like 85 minutes into a 90-minute movie. Guess we gotta go. Wow.
You couldn't cut that wreath scene where they were getting together just to make room for
I was gonna say, like, that's why the majority of A Christmas Carol takes place ghost after ghost after ghost.
In a single night.
In a single night. Like, we get... Basically, if you want to watch A Christmas Carol, this is not the choice to make.
No.
Oh boy.
Have you seen the Doctor Who episode? That one's pretty good.
I mean, the answer is clear here.
Huh?
The optimum version of A Christmas Carol?
Yeah.
The Muppets?
Oh, yes.
The Muppets Christmas Carol? Hello?
Yes. I thought you meant like the actual one where we have Christmas Carol, the
this
movie.
Is the actual one. A Muppets Christmas Carol is the only version worth talking about.
Not The Man Who Invented Christmas?
That's not really... That's about...
A Christmas...
it's about A Christmas Carol, but it's not A Christmas Carol.
I mean, he is haunted by his own ghost to create the Christmas Carol.
But...
Incidentally, watch The Man Who Invented Christmas.
Yeah, there was a movie, it came out a couple years ago.
Back when we could go to theaters.
Called The Man Who Invented Christmas. And it's about Charles Dickens writing A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
It stars Dan Stevens and Christopher Plummer. It's a great little movie.
Because he argues with his characters because he's insane.
Yeah. As he writes, he like visualizes the characters and they like appear in the room. So he interacts with like Scrooge and he interacts with all these
ghosts.
Yeah, the ghosts and Marley and all these characters. It's a really fun movie. It is on Hulu?
Was it Amazon? I thought it was Amazon.
I think no, it was Hulu because we didn't think it was and then we clicked it and it worked. So if you have Hulu, look it up. It's called The Man Who Invented Christmas. It is a lovely movie. We've watched it every year since we saw it in the theater.
Yeah. So good.
Anyway.
That, I think, was peak Christmas Carol. But, because,
I feel you. I can see you. Anywho. So, they, there is no, like I said, there's no Christmas future. Because the future is yet to be written. And we didn't have budget for a third country star.
Boo.
So Vivian is like, I have an idea on how we can solve this opening act thing. And they're like, how? They'll do a duet. Oh, was that it? Like, why wasn't that plan A?
Because Jack Donaghy didn't want them to just wanted, what's her name? Alexis?
Yeah.
To star in the thing. And then we Deus Machina and just like, how'd you get him to agree to a duet? And she's like, I had him actually listen to them sing.
Yeah, that was like, how did you get him to agree with a duet? He heard them sing.
Oh boy.
Well, you didn't hear them sing? They're famous country stars. Anyway, so
and they're singing that song from the beginning, Rockin' Little Christmas with You.
Yeah, a Rockin' Little Christmas. Not a good song. Was that made for this movie? Do you know? I guess
think so.
I should know, eh?
Yeah. I feel like it was made for this movie.
It feels like it shouldn't have been. So they also sing a classic, like we wanted early on in the film. Vivian, like a lot of stuff gets wrapped up really fast. You know how I do that summing up at the end of the episode? Mm-hmm. I wrote that twice. They sing a Christmas classic. Vivian accepts that Georgia wants to keep working for her instead of going to law school.
Good call.
Gavin's dad shows up at the taping and says he's proud of him for the first time.
That resolves some shit.
Yeah, that solves that. The head of the network gives Vivian the job, and she turns it down because she just loves Nashville too much. And then he goes, well, why don't you just fly back and forth? Again, it's not a full-time position. You can still live here and do that. And she's like, oh, well, then I'll take it. So he gets the job. She gets the job anyway. Vivian goes and like brings Gavin to a TV and shows him the video they made when they were 10 about how they were always going to be the best of friends, which is kind of cute. And they finally kind of admit their feelings for each other, which I think we could have done without.
I mean, you gotta kiss them under the mistletoe. That's
I know,
the rules.
and we do. We'll run under the mistletoe and they kiss. But again, I think this is another one of those movies where, like, if they just, like, oh, and they were friends forever, that would have been almost nicer. Because, like, yeah, they were obviously planting the seeds about him, you know, falling in love with her. But it's not always a necessity, you know?
Yeah, I guess. Like, there was always a mismatch of how much they like each other. Like, when they were arguing in the bar over that cider in the hibachi bar, I guess.
Yeah.
He was just like, you always did this, you always did that. I always liked you more than you liked me. What?
Yeah.
So I guess that was admitting it and throwing it in our face at the same time?
I guess. So yeah. I don't know. I just think it wasn't, like, this is one of the movies where it's not, like, crazy necessary. You could have gone either way with it, and you chose this way, which is not, like, the coolest way.
I thought it was good.
It's fine. So they run under the mistletoe tree.
The tree made mistletoe. Why not?
Yeah.
Everyone has to make out under it.
Mistletoe. And they kiss for the first time. Vivian gets the job of her dreams, and gets to stay in Nashville. Gavin gets permission to get new clients. Vivian and Gavin get to repair their relationship to one another and get all cuddly. Georgia gets to stay working for her sister. The two stars both get to open the show. Everyone's happy. Curtain down. This movie was okay.
Yeah. What was this with no Ghost of Christmas Future? What in the hell?
That was a cop-out. I think this is another movie where we kind of have squandered potential. You know?
Yeah, you have a bunch of assumingly famous country stars, and her mentor there doesn't sing for shit.
Yeah, like you have these. None of them do. None of the country stars do, except for the two who are actually in the show.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they are famous.
I think so.
In the country,
I think that one of them's called Ray Lynn.
Ray Lynn and
other lady.
I have them written down. I'm sorry. Sarah Evans and Ray Lynn.
Are they famous?
I don't know. I've never heard of them. Like, I've heard of, Paisley. I've heard of Winona Judd. I've heard of Kix Brooks. I've not heard of Sarah or Ray Lynn. They could be, like a newer school country.
But even if they're newer school country, they only got a collective 5 minutes out of the whole deal.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It feels like a waste of potential that could have been something.
I'm just saying.
You know what we need to do is give this a budget, put it on like ABC, and then like bring in your Reba McEntire, your Garth Brooks, your Dolly Parton, have them do the songs, get the license to the music, put the money into it. You could have had a nice little movie. Instead, you have this, which I guess feels like a Hallmark movie. So
yeah, like if you're gonna do the Tales of Christmas Past, sing it.
Yeah, could have been. So like, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah,
I was entertained.
Yeah.
But
I too was Hallmark entertained.
I think I wanted it to be more than it was. So maybe that affected my score a little bit. What did you give it?
I gave it a 5. It's very middle of the road.
A 5?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were going to give it higher, so I was worried. So I gave it a 5.5.
No, there's no Ghost of Christmas Future. That's how the formula works.
Yeah, really. Again, like if you're gonna subvert the trope, great. But like, don't just subvert it into a brick wall of nope. What are you doing?
Also, if you're gonna hire out these big names, use them.
Yeah. Paisley barely gets used at all. Like, we spend so long on the Ghost of Christmas Past with Kick Brooks. We spend almost no time with the Ghost of Christmas Present, and then obviously no time with the Ghost of Christmas Future. What that she don't exist.
It's a very simple formula, guys. We've been telling this story for ages.
So, yeah, a 5.5. Because, like, I don't know. I liked it a little bit more than average. You're gonna stick on average, bang on average?
There's nothing special about it.
I feel more disappointed in that. Like, I wanted it to be better,
like,
but it ain't.
If you took all these famous people out of this movie, these famous country stars.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't care whatsoever.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't give a damn. Like, if you had exchanged that main lady for her dead mentor, for Dolly Parton, and Dolly Parton doesn't sing a damn thing in this movie, would you not be just angered that you didn't get to hear Dolly Parton sing? It's like buying a ticket to see Dolly Parton, and all she does is sit there and read a book. What the hell are you doing there, guys?
I mean, I'd watch that just because, well, that's weird. What book are we reading? So, I don't know. It's a thing. It's one of the more disappointing movies I think we've had so far.
Yeah.
Just because I liked the idea and it was so strange. But
yeah, because if you infused it with, made it into a jukebox musical, we would have been in the money.
If you infused it with money
and music,
we could have had a thing. But it's like I said, this is the most like disappointing one, but it's okay because there are 10 more movies to come this week.
Woo!
That might pull it up a little bit.
Woo!
So this is gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
Which brings us to tomorrow. Because tomorrow is another one of our live streams. Because we are doing a Hallmark movies and mystery movie. And those are routinely not very good. Which is A Little Christmas Charm. Or maybe it's The Angel Tree. They mix them up sometime.
That's true.
Both of them sound boring.
Well, The Angel Tree is like, when you wish upon a tree, you'll get a Hallmark movie.
Sick.
Thank you.
Bravo. So we are doing one of those tomorrow. On my list here, it says it's A Little Christmas Charm, starring Ashley Greene and Brendan Penny. Holly asks an investigative reporter, Penny, to help her track down the owner of a lost charm bracelet. This is a Christmas ring! It's the same fucking plot! Holly Greene asks an investigative reporter, Penny, to help her track down the owner of a lost charm bracelet before Christmas Eve.
Uh-oh.
That's the same goddamn plot! Isn't it basically?
Yeah. Do we really have to? No, we made a commitment. We gotta watch it.
I can tell you right now, if I didn't say at the start of this we do all 40, and instead we just do like all 20 of the regular Hallmark movies,
Yeah.
we would not be doing these like movie and mystery movies. Oh my god.
Well, on the plus side, cutie, you now know the formula that Hallmark uses. So you just have to write a script that fits this formula, and Hallmark will pay you money.
It wouldn't be hard.
It's
$45 whole dollars.
Hey, that's $45 whole dollars for 10 minutes of work.
You're right. Anyway, so we're going to watch that tomorrow, probably at around 3 p.m. West Coast time. Whatever that means to you, wherever you're at. So, the live streams have been turned out to be pretty fun.
Yeah.
We hang out, we watch a movie together. It's easy on us, because all we got to do is watch a movie. And I think, some point this week, we have to do a double feature.
Yeah, just to catch up. So keep an eye out for when we decide to do that. Even I don't know when it is. It might be tomorrow.
It might be tomorrow. Who knows? But you can, if you want to follow us on the internet, I am on Twitter, twitter.com/emptysquare, EMPTYSQUARE. Cutes?
I'm at Aquadia_. You'll know me because it's under Aquadia_.
Perfect. And if you've been watching along with us and you're like, golly, I sure would like to give them money for some reason.
Please and thank you.
You would make our fucking day. And then you could go to patreon.com/emptysquare. And for literally any money, you get cool stuff. I don't pull that like $5. Thank you. Every little bit helps. No. For $1, you get shit. That's how we roll here at Empty Square Productions.
Yes.
So patreon.com/emptysquare if you want to help out and see that kind of thing.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. We are trying to get ourselves to 100 subscribers by Christmas Day. I don't know how that's going to work, but God help us.
Tell us your Christmas stories. Was your Fred Meyer's division also had rude Christmas workers? Do you know a hibachi girl that sells giant mulled cider by the fucking pint?
Yeah. Let us know. Let us know how you're doing. We always like to hear from commenters. It's really cool to know that people watch and listen to us. So yeah, I think that's it for this Nashville Christmas Carol. Cutes, should they watch the thing?
Is it in front of another thing that you want to watch? Is it in front of Christmas with the Darlings and you're just like, well, I got nothing else to do?
Yeah, I guess. You know what you should watch? The Man Who Invented Christmas. It's on Hulu.
The Doctor Who Christmas special.
Oh, yeah. We do this thing where we watch every single Doctor Who Christmas special.
Yeah. Back when they had them.
Looking at you, Chibnall.
Chibnall!
So, yeah, there is those, which are so great.
So great.
Also, I have a top 10 list of my favorite Christmas episodes. I might do it on the show once. But go ahead and look for an episode of Community. Community Season 2, Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas. It is the best Christmas episode, period. That's right, I said it. And I have a Christmas podcast, so I am an all-knowing authority. I'm a white male aged 18 to 35. Everybody cares about my opinion.
Okay, but like the Doctor Who Christmas Carol episode where we save not one town, but 2 towns.
Yeah, also good. Not as good as Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. And we will see you tomorrow. I'm going to say that every single time now.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys. Thank you very much for watching.
Tune in. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
New Year. Buy a tree.
Buy a tree. Get yourself a tree.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Love you guys.